Hello, this is Scott from Telecoms.com at Mobile World Congress 2019. I'm talking to Ragu from Incognito. So Ragu, why don't you start by introducing us to your company?
Yeah, thank you. Incognito is a Canadian company based in Vancouver, Canada. We have about 200 customers globally. We actually focus only on residential broadband and device management aspects of it. The company is owned by Constellation Software, largest Canadian independent software company. Constellation buys companies and they never sell. So we are here to serve our customers for the longest period of time.
And is there a particular area of your business that you're discussing a lot at Mobile World Congress this year?
Absolutely, absolutely. We specialize on device management. The device management for our customers, who are service providers, is expanding into IoT. Why? Because there's lots of similarities. Remote management, low cost operation, and IoT specifically fits in the right place in terms of operators want to be able to remotely manage and lower the cost of management of those devices. And also it allows them to get into a new vertical, not just the consumers and providing internet services, but also providing industrial device management as well as connectivity services. This is very interesting for us.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, could you drill down a little bit more as to what are the particular characteristics of industrial IoT versus domestic IoT?
Certainly. So domestic and the consumer IoT is what we define as you go to an electronic shop and buy something and you install it yourself to your Wi-Fi network and you manage it. It's completely on you. Versus industrial IoT requires you to have a couple of unique characteristics. One, it has to be reliable. Two, it has to be secure. Third, it has to be zero-touch provision and managed, because these are typically in non-accessible places and they are mission critical as well. So they have to be secure and also reliable.
Can you give us any examples of typical applications of industrial IoT?
For sure. So we're working with one of our customers who is actually getting into smart energy management. So they being the consumer of this particular application first, and they're trying to essentially get into having low-powered radios on the energy meters, power meters, and they consume all that data and provide it to a vertical application management to optimize the consumption versus generation of the electricity. But this is an example, but there's many of them: parking meters, smart cities, and some of the sensors on the pipelines, and the weather monitoring systems are some of the other examples. Yeah.
Okay, and then just to finish off, you touched on this earlier, but if I could ask you to expand, what is the interest for CSPs, for operators in this particular area of industrial IoT?
CSPs have a very unique position here because industrial IoT, as I mentioned, it has to be reliable. They provide reliable connectivity. So it is a service on top of that to be able to manage the devices, so that I'm talking about these are sensors and actuators and robotic arms and things like that. They need low latency, high security, as well as they are reliable and they work all the time, and they need to be able to manage by somebody else from a connectivity perspective, right? So operator play in this case is essentially to do a total operational aspect of that as well.
And this is something that you can help them with, I presume?
Absolutely. Incognito is into looking at, we're actually working with a couple of operators to be able to enable them. One, it is high scale. Two, low cost operation, fully automated, zero touch provision. And the third thing is about the AI part of it. Essentially take all of this data, provide them, for example, these devices are not necessarily very expensive. They are not as reliable, even though the service has to be reliable. So they need to be able to detect if one of these devices go wrong, to be able to swap it without having to have a big truck roll going in there. So we are in the business of enabling all of that stuff.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.